The South Park movie is more than your run-of-the-mill raunchy comedy. Beyond that, it speaks to the issues of censorship and mainstream hypocrisy.
Just remember what the MPAA says. Horrific, deplorable violence is okay, as long as people don't say any naughty words. That is what this war is all about.
Gas was ironically fueled to the fire with the production's own run-ins with the MPAA. The idea for a South Park film was pitched after the show's first season, and the plot for the episode Death was used for inspiration. The episode debuted the characters of Terrence and Phillip, who were meant to be stand-ins for how the real world viewed South Park. In the episode, parents become so involved with protesting the show that they hardly have time to deal with their children. It pokes fun at the idea of wanting television and media to be all clean, rather than parents putting in the effort to raise and discipline their kids. It's all the damn cartoon's fault, not mine. Creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone liked the idea of pointing fun at themselves, and found it to be relevant to their experience as cartoonists. Once the movie received backing from Paramount, the corporate powers had no idea what they were getting into, as it would seem the irony of their meddling would be completely lost on the studio. There were smaller disagreements about the movie at first, one being Parker and Stone's urge to make it a musical, and the other being heavy pressure to aim for a PG-13 rating. If there's one thing we all know, South Park is R-rated. But Paramount were the ones worried about making their money back. It's no surprise that an R rating inevitably compromises a film's box office, while a PG-13 allows for a wider demographic. But Parker and Stone wouldn't relent, as it was one of their conditions that the film be R-rated and reflect the show's humor. But this was just the beginning. Enter the MPAA. You know these guys. They're the ones who tell us how offended we should be. The MPAA were heavily satirizing the film, so it was self-fulfilling that they'd collide during production. After submitting the movie for a rating, it was returned with the dreaded NC-17. This is a very uncommon rating that some may not even know about. Essentially, while an R will admit children who are accompanied by an adult, an NC-17 allows absolutely nobody underage. But that's not all. NC-17 films are absolute hell to promote, especially in the 90s. You can only play the trailers at certain times, and most theaters won't even want to show the movie. Truly a kiss of death no studio wants to receive. Now, Parker and Stone experienced this before. Their 1997 film Orgasmo was given this rating, and as a result had a very limited release and didn't even make $1 million. But that was an indie movie, and this time they had a major studio on their side. Paramount was able to negotiate many backs and forth to get notes on how to bring down the rating, while with Orgasmo, the MPAA refused to really talk to them. For the South Park movie, it took 6 submissions to finally get the R rating, all of which had to do with profanity and innuendos, while scenes of violence didn't seem to matter. It was glaring to them how much of a hassle it was to make a raunchy comedy, while violent films and shoot-'em-ups are some of the top moneymakers. Said Parker to the New York Times, "The ratings board only cared about the dirty words. They're so confused and arbitrary. They didn't blink twice because of violence." So, how did they compromise? Well, they only sort of did. For one, the song Uncle Fucka was originally called Motherfucker, but apparently the latter was just too far? I don't know, maybe because motherfucker is an established naughty word. There's also the scene where the boys discover Cartman's mom in a German fetish video. Originally, it was going to be Cartman's mom fucking a horse, without actually being seen by the audience, mind you. But the MPAA drew the line at bestiality, so they changed it to a video of a human taking a dump on her. Which was fine. Everybody shits, I guess? Point is, the MPAA was more concerned with arbitrary standards than what was actually disgusting. When they'd object to a scene, Parker and Stone would just add something worse. As long as it didn't use the wrong word or the wrong body part, everything's fine. Even the film's title dealt with this pettiness. The movie was first called South Park All Hell Breaks Loose, but of course the MPAA had a problem with the word hell, so it was changed to South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. A very clear penis innuendo. But that was fine, as long as there's no HE double hockey sticks. Then, of course, there was the trailer.
And they did one of these trailers that is just, complete. It makes my skin crawl.
It's like, get ready for the wacky, woke fun of summer.
It was like, it was a commercial for like basketball, like what they did with that, or like a Norm Macdonald movie, or like these crappy, they call them $10 million crappy summer movies. That's like the official term in Hollywood, $10 million crappy summer movie. And for whatever, you can say what you want about it, but we thought our movie was much cooler than that, and we didn't want it to be like, get ready, here it comes for the wackalicious, and we're like, oh.
So Parker and Stone cut their own trailer. After many disagreements, it seemed the lame trailer was the only one that would work. So, right before it was mailed to the studio, Matt Stone literally put the reel in his trunk and drove away with it.
So the PA's walking out with the with a DLT to go to Paramount to deliver it, so they have their 48 hours. And I was like, bring that over here. And we were on the shoot for Brian Boitano. I stuck it in my trunk in my car and I drove home. And then Monday morning, my lawyer calls at like literally 7:45 at my house. And he's like, do you have something that belongs? He's like, the 3 biggest lawyers from Paramount just called me and said they're going to sue us. And I was like, them, let them sue us. Because that was our, me and Trey were like, sue us right now. Please, you.
And it was that kind of thing that really saved the movie. Parker and Stone were willing to call their bluff. At a certain point, what was anyone going to do? Cancel the film 2 weeks before release? It takes serious brass balls to turn to a studio and say, go ahead, sue us. But they knew at this point they had the upper hand. Money was spent, promotions underway, and profit needed to be made. It's a very specific power that Parker and Stone maintained by being almost the sole creative forces behind South Park, which is a rarity for animation. At one point, Paramount wanted to use a Kid Rock song for the film's promotional music video. Parker and Stone hated this, and after Paramount wouldn't relent, South Park simply refused to make it. When they needed clips of Cartman, Parker said, I voice Cartman, and I'm not doing it. When requesting new cartoon footage, animation director Eric Stow replied, I'm not drawing it. It finally came down to Parker and Stone paying for the video themselves, which many would not have opted to do. It's this attitude and refusal to bow to censors that makes South Park truly unique, and makes the South Park movie a significant example of social commentary. Thanks for watching till the end. Make sure to like and be my sub. As always, extra thank you to my top tier patrons, Katie King and Stephen Walk. The greatest subs a man could ever want.